What's up, buddy?
How you doing?
Good. Hey, what came first, the chicken or the egg?
I always think the chicken is the one that came first.
Are you serious? You think you're one of those people? You're a chicken person?
I am definitely a chicken person.
How is that possible? The egg literally was first. It hatched and became a chicken.
There's no way an egg could come unless there was a chicken involved.
No, I think that the egg is definitely first.
But what happens if the chicken looks like this?
Well, then the chicken definitely came first.
Stay tuned because your next stop is the Highlight Zone After Hours.
The Twilight Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome to the show. Today's edition is a special one. It's one that I've wanted to do for a while because as many times as we talked about this, we always talk about how many times movies have ripped off the Twilight Zone and there have been no freaking accolades to Rod or whatever. And I wanted to address that today. So we're going to go over eight movies that I believe have ripped off the Twilight Zone, some of which are so egregious that I believe an apology or credit is due. Some of them have taken a good idea and spun it, and some of them are just, okay, you can get the nod. Here's what we're not going to talk about. Time travel, because time travel has been told before Rod Serling's time in different ways. No time travel one is going to be retold because of that. Some of these ones are kind of personal, I guess you could say, because I'm a fan of these films and we notice it. But the top four are going to get very interesting grades because some of them are unforgivably, they're just ripoffs, man.
You know when we usually come to that realization, it's not when we're doing this episode or watching redos of the Highlight Zone. It's when we watch a new movie, and we come out and we're in the car driving home and we're talking about it, and someone's going to say, that's a lot like. So we notice it over the years at times when we're not doing this.
Yeah.
But it just jumps out at you. This is a ripoff.
So many times we say, oh my God, that felt like a Twilight Zone episode. That's the thing that we say in our house a lot. When we saw Severance, the first episode, I'm like, oh my God, this feels like a Twilight Zone episode. So many times it just feels like a Twilight Zone episode. These ones more than feel like it, they are. Okay, so let's just show you real quick what I mean. We're going to briefly go over a few just to show you right now what we kind of mean on our gravity. This first one, we're not even going to rank, but it is similar. You're going to see this guy brought up a couple of times. That would be The Odyssey of Flight 33 versus Stephen King's The Langoliers. Again, that was a book that was turned into a made-for-TV movie. I like the movie The Langoliers. It's kind of fun. Real quickly, in a very brief one, in The Odyssey of Flight 33, it's one of our favorites. I freaking love this. You remember they're flying through and they hit a weird gap of speed and they go back in time. It's a time warp. In The Langoliers, when they go through the Aurora Borealis, they fall asleep and wake up. And if you're asleep when you went through, everyone is gone. And when you land, there's like these demons that eat up time. And that's kind of his explanation. So not quite, but we know that Stephen King is a huge Serling fan. All right. Okay, this is just another quick one of your favorites. The Thing versus Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? This seems like a stretch, but it's not as big of a stretch as you think, except for the fact it's a lot of snow. It's an isolated group of people in the snow that can't leave, and if they do, they die, literally by definition, and one of them in that group was an alien.
And it doesn't involve dogs. That's the one difference.
That is true. There are no dogs.
So there are no dogs
Absolutely.
In our version.
Yeah, so this one is a fun one because of the massive amount of check boxes that you can check off. Doesn't necessarily mean it's a ripoff. Okay, next one up here. This is just a light one. Again, we're going with Stephen King's Christine versus The Thing About Machines. Now,
this is not just light. This is pretty close.
This is, well, and to that point, Stephen King has said he inspired the book Christine because of The Thing About Machines, the ending of it where the car clearly chases him down and drowns him in a pool. So we're not going to really go in dissecting these three, but you can see the similarities, and that's our point. These had some similarities. We're about to get into 8 that have a lot of similarities. We're going to, okay, go ahead.
This is so unique as I was looking at your list of 8, and I started looking at where they fall into the repertoire of seasons and episodes. Serling was so on top of things in season 2. His season 2, episode 14, 16, 17, and 18, and 19, there were 5 of them that within 4 of them within 5 weeks, one after another, hit our top 8 list.
See, that's crazy.
Think about that.
That's a lot of free material to rip off. You know what I mean?
To have it show after show after show, different ideas in such a short period of time. I thought that was... Amazing.
So we're going to ease into this so that you guys don't think that we're just total dicks about this. And we're going to slowly sneak in with some nicer ones. Okay. The first one that comes to our attention is relevant because of the remake or the modern version that came out this year. So let's go through this. First one is The Chaser, Season 1, Episode 31. And we're going to go through some of the credits, but the real important ones are writers, because we're not talking about cinematics or the directing. We're talking about the storyline that's being ripped off here. And this was written by Robert Presnell Jr. in 1959 or 1960 is when this one aired. Season 1, Episode 31 of The Chaser. So we love this episode. We've retold it on this show multiple times because it's such a fun one to do. We went and saw the movie this year almost just because we thought it was a direct ripoff. And that would be my favorite movie of the year, Curry Barker's Obsession. We saw it together. We went with Justin. We kind of made it a group of the Twilight Zone fans and went and saw this. The similarities are very, very palpable, so much so that we saw the trailer originally. I'm like, oh my God, this looks like The Chaser.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So in my point of view, and these are just by the way, we could go over millions of these. These are just a few of the ones that stand out. So when we go through this one, I gave this one an absolutely this is an excellent retelling. This is because what looked like was going to be an obvious ripoff of a trope that's been told before. The idea of a wish that goes bad is not new to the Twilight Zone, but it's so good that it kind of felt like this. And what I thought was going to be the dark twist was just like this one was at the end of The Chaser. He got the potion, the glove cleaner, and he was going to kill his wife or kill her.
And yet we still don't know what the real intent was. It just to kill her, or was it to get her to hate him again?
It could be.
We don't know. And Rod left that open.
Absolutely. In this one, we did just go
watch.
This one,
there's
no question. We know what happens, and
ambiguity.
It's fantastic. But I will say that Rod Serling would be impressed today, and to be honest, I think that writer Robert Presnell Jr. would be impressed with the way that would have been adapted.
Yes.
I think this is a great one, which leads up to another one that I think is good. Okay, before we get into the real shit of this thing here, the next one is Mirror Image. You guys have heard me talk about this one a lot. Mirror Image is Season 1, Episode 21, written by Rod Serling himself, directed by John Bram.
It's one of your favorites, I think.
It is one of my favorites. Yeah. It's a 10. It's on the board. I love this one. I have for multiple reasons, but the very basic premise of this one is similar. And the director-writer acknowledged it. And we're talking about my favorite movie of that year, Jordan Peele's Us. The main point being doppelgangers. But doppelgangers coming out of somewhere where you don't know. Which I'm going to tell you gives me the chills. Because Jordan Peele said when he was making this that he thinks that the scariest thing is a doppelganger coming in and pretending to be you. And I never really thought about that. That's a dark ass idea, because just watch what happens in this film. Anyway,
I love them both because of that. You're going in, you're seeing the doppelganger on the Twilight Zone version. She can't figure it out. Then the guy comes in and he has a doppelganger at the very end of the show. So to me, when they're chasing each other down the street, to me again, it leaves the end open, but it causes you to stop and think and go, what horrible thing could happen if that really existed?
You don't really know what the hell happened. You just know what happened, and it was violent and scary. And I think that is super interesting. I love this one. So for this one, again, it gives me it gives me an excellent vibe.
The red jumpsuits freak me out.
They absolutely, yeah, they are. It's freaky as hell. But you know what I think sets this one apart is that I think that because Jordan Peele admitted that he was inspired by this episode, to me that makes it a little okay. He's not just hiding it. No. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I think we're done with the two passable ones. Now we're going to get into it's a little dirty. It's a little icky, as they say. All right, so the next one, we're going to go right into this. I'm going to take this one on here. This would be The Dummy, Season 3, Episode 33. We all know this. He's got the ventriloquist dummy that kind of has a mind of its own. As we've seen later, the hot books, and then the film written by R.L. Stine, which is Goosebumps. And in 1993, The Living Dummy came out, which was a huge deal when I was in middle school. And then in 2015, the adaptation of the film. Here's what I think is similar and not. There is an enchanted ventriloquist dummy, and while that alone doesn't justify that it's being ripped off, it is oddly similar that they try to destroy it multiple times. Right. It won't do it. It takes on the different personality. It's a dominating feature. I think the fact that a ventriloquist dummy there is so on the nose because it's such a unique item. Yeah. So I give this one a passable score. I think that this was passable.
Yeah.
I have another passable one for you. Right. Why don't you handle this one, my man? We just talked about this one. This is another meh. It could be. My favorite episode, one of them, season 1, episode 16, The Hitch-Hiker, written by Rod Serling. Now, there are multiple things in modern day pop culture that have this effect, but nothing as big as the 1999 film, The Sixth Sense. And let's just go over the main point.
The main character is dead, but they don't know it.
Yeah.
They go through the whole show thinking that they're alive, working with other people. On our episode, she's running into individuals on the road while she's driving cross country. In Sixth Sense, he's got this child that he's trying to help because he's a child psychiatrist. But they think they're doing their best, and they can't figure out what these strange things are. And at the end, they both realize, I've been dead all along.
And the point that they realize that they're dead all along is the entire gimmick of the episode. Here's the interesting thing is Rod Serling wrote this episode for the Twilight Zone, and M. Night Shyamalan wrote it himself for his own movie. This is what put, obviously, M. Night on the map.
Yeah.
One of the most important movies I've ever seen. When this came out, not one human being I met didn't see this movie. Everybody saw it. Kids saw it.
I don't know anyone that had guessed the ending.
No one. That was the biggest deal. It was before spoilers on the internet. So I completely agree. I give this a passable score. I think that they took a good idea that he had, didn't quite rip it off to the in-depth level because they completely changed the deviations of the story. Yep. Right? This was passable. M. Night, I'm okay with this one. This one's okay.
And I would say the Hitchhiker did not achieve a level of audience love that a lot of other Rod Serling episodes did. So
absolutely.
It fell into that mishmash of another episode. So I'm going to give it all a pass because it was great. And in hindsight, we loved it.
Right.
But at the time, they probably didn't look at that.
Agreed. Yeah. See, and I dig that. So this gets a passable score.
Yeah, I agree.
Warning. If you guys are heavily triggered by someone that doesn't agree with your opinions, buckle up because the next 4 we're doing are, I consider, egregious failures on screenwriters'
obvious ripoffs.
Obvious ripoffs. Yeah, that's what we're calling them. Just freaking ripoffs. Here we go. This is just way too on the nose. We're going to go with one of your favorites. Gosh. Okay, this is the one you retold this one. This would be season 2, episode 14. One of the ones you're talking about.
This started the series of 5 where they were made into movie adaptations 3 decades later.
Yep, absolutely. Okay, so this is the whole truth, and then the ripoff version of it is very obviously Liar Liar. Break it down.
So in our episode of the Twilight Zone, this is a used car salesman that just lies to everybody to sell those cars. He ends up buying this old Model T from a guy, and the guy, and
Liar,
on Liar Liar, you've got an attorney who's famous for lying to everybody, lies to his clients, lies to his wife,
because
lies
of a
to
wish,
his kids.
because of his son's wish. His son said, "I wish you."
Lying. His sons made a wish one night. Please let my dad speak only the truth for 24 hours.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Same exact concept.
It is. So as much as, and by the way, I want to be very clear on something. These next movies I adore. Most of these movies I love, and I'm not shitting on them because they're bad films. I'm pointing out the fact that they were heavily inspired by and never give recognition to. I think Liar Liar is freaking hilarious. But more importantly, the rest of them I adore. Yep. Even though I love this movie and it's super fun, I have to give this a massive ripoff. This is so completely a ripoff that I can't believe that Tom Sednak didn't acknowledge it.
Right.
I genuinely think that these next movies should have a something in the special notes. Special thanks to Rod Serling. This idea was completely original.
And those of you that are listening to this saying, yeah, they're right, wait till we get to the next one.
Oh my God. And if you don't already know where we're going, get ready for that, because the next one here is a penny for your thoughts. Okay, we like this one. It's got your guy that you love so much. He throws a penny in the thing, and then guess what he can do? He can hear people's thoughts. Oh my God. Very similar to the premise of one of my favorite romantic comedies of all time. Freaking Mel Gibson in What Women Want from year 2000. And this is the craziest part. This isn't some hack screenwriter. This is freaking Nancy Meyers. Nancy Meyers wrote a ton of amazing things, including A League of Their Own. Okay. So, I mean, she is a fantastic screenwriter and director. Let's just be honest. This is a massive ripoff. I'm giving this a ripoff score easily. The idea that something magical happens in his movie, he falls into a bathtub with a hair dryer, and then it goes back. Yeah, and he can hear what women are thinking the entire time. In this one, he hears everybody's thoughts, but then at the end, both of them right their ways, and everything is fine. Finish that pint because these next two you're going to have to buckle up for because the egregiousness of them is palpable.
Goes up a notch, yep.
Okay, the next ones here we have.
Oh my God.
He is literally wearing the shirt for it right now. Would be Little Girl Lost, Season 3, Episode 26, written by Richard Matheson, a GOAT in the Twilight Zone world. He writes a lot of important stuff. And of course, you know where we're going for this, my man, which would be Poltergeist.
Oh my God.
So, just so we're clear, Poltergeist is one of my favorite movies of all time. It's on my all-time top 30.
Everybody loves it. I've never found someone who didn't love it.
Absolutely. It's genius. But I challenge you, viewers, go and watch the episode of The Twilight Zone, which is Season 3, Episode 26. Go watch Little Girl Lost, okay? Then go right into the 1982 classic and tell me that it's not just blatantly ripped off.
Oh, my God.
I mean, go into this.
The girl's the same age. She looks the same. They're in a bedroom. In Poltergeist, she gets pulled into the closet. In ours, she gets pulled into the wall. She starts screaming for his mom, or her mom, just like they do in Poltergeist. They can't find her. They go in. They're freaking out. They hear she's behind a wall. They bring in outsiders to help solve the problem. In the Twilight Zone version, it's a physicist friend. In Poltergeist, they go and find a medium that can do it. They end up going in behind the walls. Yes.
Dad, since this movie came out the year I was born, okay? So
I have been watching. You have to watch this.
I have been watching this movie since I was like 5. Yeah. You guys were the best movie-going parents because you let me watch shit that I shouldn't be watching. I have loved this movie. We met Oliver at a horror fest last year. It's amazing. Here's the thing, though. This is too on the nose. This is way too on the nose from every detail, and for me, that gets a rip-off branding because of what you just said. So many plot lines of this film are just completely written off. Toby Hooper, I know who you are. You're a fantastic film writer. This is gross. I consider this an egregious ripoff. Yeah, as much as I love the movie and how they twisted it and gave great performances to make it different, every core element was there. Like you pointed it out, it was the minutiae. It was just crazy. It's too on the nose.
It was like taking the old script and just putting a new date on it.
Yeah. Does Rod Serling's name need to be mentioned at the end? Yes, it does. And here comes my last one because we're just doing it now. This one is so abrasive that just like the last one, they're probably tied. The best part is I love most of the movies in this franchise. But before we get there, we're obviously looking at season 2, episode 17.
Which is one of the 5
that you were talking about.
All in a row that made it into the movies.
Which is 22. And we have gone over this one before a couple of different times. Yep. It's one of our favorite ones to do. Room for one more, sweetie, you know, that kind of thing. So similar to Final Destination, written by James Wong. Now listen, I don't have a whole lot of hate for these people because I love Final Destination. I like Final Destination as a franchise. I love the last one. We met him at the last Horror Fest as well. Alex, I give this a hardcore ripoff rating because you cannot ignore the trope of someone has a premonition of a plane exploding. They get off the plane, and while they're literally in the terminal looking at the plane through the freaking window, the plane explodes.
They basically stole the whole idea, and then they built a whole industry of movies.
Yeah.
How many Final Destinations are there?
There's got to be 8. I hate the idea that these groups got away with that.
I agree completely.
I don't also hate them because I love the movies.
Well, this is the other thing. There aren't any of those movies that we say we hated.
Anyway,
Serling was still the best.
Cheers. We were drinking beers tonight. We went through a plethora. And anyway.
That was fun.
Cool.
That was really fun.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time. Go check out all of these movies. I have no idea where they're streaming. You have to look it up on your own. I'm not doing that amount of work for you. I already made cool bumpers. Later.
A few beers later.
So are you chicken or egg?
I'm egg and you're chicken. Okay?
I'm chicken.
What came first, the chicken or the egg?
Obviously, the chicken came first. There's no doubt about it.
Are you nuts? It's definitely the chicken. Because what came first, the chicken or the egg?
There's no question. The chicken was first.
Are you nuts? It's definitely the chicken. The chicken is the one that lays the egg.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but the chicken was first. It had to lay the egg.
That's right. So,
okay.
I'm pro
You're
chicken.
pro chicken.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to say
and
what came first.
Egg.
You're going to say You're going to say
The
pro-chicken.
chicken
And I'm going to say, no, wait, eggs came first because we
eggs,
started.
okay.
So I fucked it up because I had it backwards the entire time. You're right, I'm defending the wrong side.
We're both on the chicken side. Okay. The chicken is always first. The chicken came first.
Come on, that's idiotic. The egg came first because the egg is first.
The egg would...
My response earlier was way better.
Where is this place and when is it? The answer is it doesn't make any difference.
Can you say eggs?
Steve is.